everybody, my name is Julia Taffer, and today I'm going to talk to you about safety during X-ray imaging. When you hear about low-dose radiation, think about low-dose cancer, because X-rays are officially qualified as a carcinogen by the World Health Organization, and possible effects of exposure to radiation include cell, tissue, and organ damage depending on the dose you were affected by, and it also causes premature aging of organ tissue and the whole body possible. And according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the following symptoms appear with the dose heavily increasing. So they include changing in blood chemistry, nausea, fatigue, vomiting, hair loss, diarrhea, hemorrhage, destruction of intestinal linings, internal bleeding, damage to central nervous system, and death. So as you can see, X-rays are a powerful tool that is now used for diagnostics for many years so far, and it has improved diagnostics a lot, and it's being done to millions of people all over the world every day, and I'm pretty sure that all of you had an X-ray exam done to you at least once in your life. And I plan to make a career in radiology, so this is the field of my special interest. I told you about X-ray exams and CAT scans in my previous speech, so you should be more familiar with this so far. And those are the two major types of medical imaging that exploit X-rays. So I believe that patients of all ages should be protected from those harmful influences of X-ray radiation. So today I would like to first explain the negative health effects associated with X-ray imaging, and second, propose a program on how these effects can be minimized, and third, explore potential benefits that will accompany development and adopting of this program and making it into life. So let's start first by looking at the negative effects and risks that medical X-ray imaging possesses. X-ray is a type of ionizing radiation. It means it has its impact on the chemical bonds. It breaks chemical bonds that make up molecules in our cells. So that's why we cannot see the effects of it immediately. It has a prolonged effect, and radiation tends to accumulate in our bodies in different organs. For example, X-rays are using iodine, and it tends to accumulate more in the thyroid gland, and that contributes to thyroid cancer as well. Rapidly growing tissues like skin and organ linings are especially affected by it, also blood cells and bones, so some types of tissues that get renewed in our bodies throughout our lifespans. And children and fetuses are especially sensitive to it because their whole bodies are growing and forming at that period of time. So according to the white paper on radiation dose in medicine published by American College of Radiology, and this is the major association of radiologists in the United States, they say that dramatic evolution of imaging has also resulted in a significant increase in the population's cumulative exposure to ionizing radiation. And the National Council of Radiation Protection supports their point of view. They say that soon medical imaging with CAT scans as the largest contributor will approach or potentially exceed background radiation as the single largest source of radiation for humans. And I have a diagram to show you that I got from their website. So here in yellow they show the natural sources. As you can see, that comes from the space, the sun, and it changes a little bit with magnitude. So like higher in the mountains you get more radiation. And this yellow number doesn't really change over years. It's the same natural radiation we have every day. And the blue color represents the so-called man-made radiation. And as you can see, medical procedures compose 36% of the whole radiation we're exposed to every day. And it doesn't really come from the doses increasing because the technology evolves and the dose actually being reduced, but the number of images taken every day, like per person and per year, getting increased. So that's an important field to work on. And Another factor contributing to growth of that segment is that images are being repeated because of technicians' mistakes. For example, mistakes in positioning, like if they do a hand X-ray and the finger is being cut, so they have to redo the image, and wrong settings being used, so the quality is not the one they would be accepted, so they have to do multiples of those, and that contributes to it. Now that you're more aware and familiar with the risk that X-ray imaging possesses, we can discuss the way to minimize those effects. Specifically, I suggest adopting a program that is called Image Gently for all ages. The program like that already exists, and I got there. That's the logo I got from the website. It was developed by the ACR, that I mentioned before, American College of Radiology, and it was accepted, approved, and actually funded by FDA in 2008, and it's now implemented in different hospitals throughout the United States, but it's targeting on the children, as they are a very sensitive group for it. Besides this program that actually covers like multiple sides of imaging, different like body parts, thickness, and so on, like very specific things about imaging. Besides that, leading radiologists have also been working on improving medical imaging as well. For example, they work on reducing imaging repetition that I mentioned to you, and better control over doses delivered to patients during those images. Such ACR initiated like discussion and work on this program could be done in 2 years easily, like the full program with all the details that must be in it. And all this great work just needs to be put together. So now you know the possible way to solve those issues, and we can now discuss the benefits if this program actually gets to be employed in life. This program is very individualized, so it special calculations allow technicians to customize different doses delivered to patients' organs depending on their body size individually and different parts of the body. So, for example, it would be different dose for one person's chest versus another person's chest. And age and gender are also taken into account, and number of images per day, year, and life taken for the same person, so they could track the accumulation of radiation. And it would be actually easy to use this program as a template. So its version for children was already approved by FDA, so it would be easier to push the same program virtually for adults to get accepted by governmental institutions. And actually, radiologists that would work on this program would be those that are going to implement in life, because those are all practicing radiologists. So I hope my remarks today have made you more aware and familiar with the risks and possible ways to reduce them. And none of this will happen, nevertheless, unless ACR initiates this research. And first, ACR has to initiate the discussion between radiologists, and multiple individual variations have to be accounted for, and Image Gently has to be used as a template to make the whole progress easier. To sum it all up, we all, as patients, need to be more aware about the risk that X-ray imaging implies to us, and we need to support the adoption of Image Gentle for adults. And we also need to realize that important health benefits will result from adopting of this program. So thank you so much. I hope this helped.